Commander Krenoc's seat shuddered with the explosions on his cruiser's hull. Trillion Empire cruisers were, until recent years, thought to be the epitome of spacecraft. Voyagers capable of deflecting even the most powerful laser weaponry, a warp drive famed for speed, and of course, an impressive arsenal of warfare technology. You see, the Trillian race evolved from a completely empty sector devoid of any other intelligent life. Not unlike these humans, ironically enough. Time without any outside interference abreast the Trillian in their earlier years. Time to civilize and advance quite far technologically. Space travel was a mere 10,000 years after the start of their own existence, and soon they colonized many worlds within their system. Within decades, they colonized their entire system, as well as 3 surrounding systems. The years flew by, and their population and technology advanced even further. It was then they had encountered the first alien race. This race called themselves the Food Tier, but they had only colonized 3 worlds within their system. Their reproductive cycle was faster than the Trillian, but they had only advanced a fraction as much technologically. Despite this, their worlds were rich with resources, water, metals, crystals. It was proposed within the Trillian Empire leaders to take this race and enslave it, and take the materials for their own. Some objected, but the majority overruled, and thus started an age of enslaving every race the Trillian came across. Cruelty wasn't rampant in these early years, but as the Empire grew, more and more races rebelled. The Trillian, with their far more advanced society, crushed them into submission, or sometimes extinction if necessary. Commander Krennoc took a water capsule from the desk in front of him, as his station shuddered once more. He laughed darkly. To think it was primarily about this substance alone. Water, an invaluable resource, a resource the humans had incredible amounts of. Previous worlds had water, but none such as Earth. Yes, that is what it was called by the humans. Earth lay in a similar system to that of the Trillian, devoid of all life except for the humans. In fact, there was no life around them for 300 light years in any direction. However, they had not advanced in any way, as far as we could tell. They could barely reach their own moon. It was laughable. They would take their water, enslave the humans, and continue their endless conquest. The Trillian would rule the universe, and none could stand in their way. The first few decades of human enslavement progressed as they had so many times before. Few incursions, small uprisings, but overall compliance. They harvested their resources and delivered to our ships, and we let them live. 112 years after human enslavement, we received transmissions that a large-scale rebellion from the humans was occurring. Commander Krennoc's fleet was the closest, and thus was ordered to return to that sector, with intent of either eradicating a world or killing enough of them that they would comply. A mere 19 hours later, after the fleet was en route, the orders changed, except now it addressed the Empire as one. All battle fleets, Human Sector S03 is to be destroyed at all costs. This message is of extreme importance. Confusion swept the crew and the fleet. Not once in their history had an alien species stood a chance of defeating them, as this message had made it sound. Commander Krennoc began to open the archives of human study, determined to find what might have caused this. He read everything he could, from human anatomy to diet, from biomes to languages. If only he had enough time to read the entries dedicated to their weaponry, he might have saved his fleet. He never would have walked into the system. Upon invasion of Earth, the humans deployed metal throwers, far inferior to laser weaponry. In an infantry battle, the Trillian had the upper hand, as their lasers could easily shred human flesh and structures, with none of the drawbacks their guns seemed to have. No recoil. There was no fall-off over distance, and it did not lose velocity for a much greater distance than the gun did. The invasion lasted for less than a week, and it seems in their millennium of this practice, the Trillian had become complacent. They assumed the humans inferior, doomed to never adapt, for how could they? Trillian power was that of an unimaginable level, one that so many races have fallen prey to before. Their nuclear technology was our downfall. Radioactive weapons that also emitted electromagnetic pulses. Not in 7 billion worlds had the Trillians seen a material used for a weapon like this. Even though their void shields could withstand the blast, the EMP made all of our technology and shields useless. A dead craft floating in space, waiting to be destroyed. The humans hardly even used the explosive yield of these weapons. No. They used their smaller missiles and metal throwers to tear our ships apart with ease, as the Trillian couldn't defend themselves. The humans had played us. They knew they couldn't win, so they waited. They waited until we had given them no thought, but they never forgot. Their patience was remarkable, spanning generations, waiting for the right moment. Their nuclear technology had been hidden from our eyes, stored away in hidden places, until it was stockpiled to an amount capable of blowing a hole through the fabric of space-time. They built their ships in secret, and killed our ground forces to steal their technology, engines and weapons. Commander Krenok gazed at his desk, at an unlit monitor. He could not even send a message to the other fleets, to warn them, to tell them of this trap. They would also fall prey to the humans, and warp into their demise. And now, due to the transmission sent Empire-wide, every fleet would sail into this trap. He looked up, and saw a missile speeding towards him through the void. Before it struck, he deciphered 2 words painted on the front of the ordnance. Fuck you.